Happy Wednesday night. It is Afro Economics Live time. Thank you so much for sharing your evening with me. I appreciate your time. Look at you. I see you. Oh, it's always positive to see you pop in. Don't hesitate to chat so I can definitely know your name, know you're there. I see your numbers. Thank you. Please share this on your social media page so that your friends take advantage of subscribing to the YouTube channel when you subscribe so you'll get all of the reminders. Tonight, we're going to have quite the discussion about developing some better habits, some money that we are leaving on the table, big mistakes that we're making with our money. Millions of people are making these mistakes. So hopefully we're developing a video tonight that's going to be powerful, take you on through. We're going to be able to use this for decades, telling us what not to do. We can always learn something from everything, right? Yeah. They say that there's a lesson in everything, even if it's what not to do. And don't you ever forget it. There is a lesson in everything. How are you? Make sure you ask me the questions. Know that and members are encouraged to come into the studio if you have some specific questions. Let me share before because it's not. Oh, it just turned quite 8, but I'm going to next week is Kwanzaa, so we're going to talk about cooperative economics. Some members of the Afro Economics Business League. Um, Make sure you all let me know because sometimes this particular streaming service that I use has audio problems. So please let me know that you can hear me. That's always good to know. Michael Robinson is in the studio. Jenny Jones is in the studio. Make sure, oh, I saw Jenny smile, so that means she can hear me. This music behind me is positive energy. That's what they said, that it is positive energy music. So I hope that that's what it's bringing to you. And I hope that tonight, as we do this discussion, that all it brings into your life is more and more positive energy. Oh, we can't get enough of that. Happy Wednesday before Christmas. It's like the eve of Christmas Eve. I remember when my daughter was younger, like, it'd be like Christmas Eve Eve. And I think Christmas Eve Eve is tomorrow. I mean, needless to say, y'all know I have not even thought about shopping. Who has time to shop when we have so much work still to do, yet to do? I think I have never talked to so many people 72 and older within the last 2 weeks. But yeah, if you're 72 and older, make sure that you take your required minimum distribution. If you have a retirement account and you don't know what a required distribution is, then definitely that could be a big money mistake that you are making because the required minimum distributions are required at age 72 and beyond, not just at 72. But yes, indeed. So they're called RMDs a lot. And so with the year almost ending, people that fall in that age group haven't already taken it, then, and a lot of times after you get old enough, you'll just set it up for automatic withdrawal. But believe it or not, I have seen a lot of people when they get to 72, there or it used to be 70 and a half where you would require to take the distributions. But I just think it's a beautiful thing when you've known someone a long time and then they get to the age where they're required to take money out of their retirement account and they don't need the money. So that is a fantastic problem to have. How you doing, Mr. Johnson? Thank you for coming into the studio tonight. I'm definitely want some feedback from you all. and this and that are in the studio. I'm going to bring them on camera to share like what they think some of the mistakes that we make, what they've seen happen, maybe some things that they've done themselves. But where are we leaving money on the table? I don't even have enough time for go through all of them, but I've got at least 10. I'm gonna start with a few, get us warmed up. Then I'm gonna bring in Miss Jones, Mr. Robinson. If he'll turn on his video, we'll bring him in too. It is a fantastic evening. I'm wondering if my make sure that you say something if you're in there. Like I see like all of your cameras, but I can't see your name until you chat if you're not in the studio with me. So make sure you chat something so that I'll know that you are there. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I just appreciate your kindness. I can't say it enough. So I'll just keep saying it. Thank you for being kind. Now, right, number one, we're places where we're leaving money on the table, places where we're spending too much money, things that we could do better on. What you think? Here we go. I'm gonna bring you all in because the this is great. Oh, Jenny's got it looking all pretty. So let me tell you, share my first one. Lack of automation, lack of use of apps, lack of use of apps like banking apps can cost you a lot of money because by using the apps on your phone for your banking account, you're able to keep up with all of your transactions better. So don't like think of the phone as a phone. This is your mobile computer now. This is your checkbook now, right? Right? This is your access to if somebody's robbing you or not. This is you need to have apps on everything. It amazes me, when I tell people like, "Hey, make sure you get the Afro Economics app. It's free." So and they'll go, "Lord, I have no space on my phone." So what do you have space on your phone for? Like what do you have? So you have all these games and you have all this stuff that's just costing you money, but you don't have space on your phone for things that will actually help you build wealth, help you make money. So I think of lack of automation. Can I get an amen on that? Like we have to
Amen.
get
Amen.
automated. We don't have the right, to say, well, I'm 70 years old, so I'm not gonna be automated. I really don't. I still have that same phone. They still have whatever phone that doesn't connect to Wi-Fi or whatever. Like that's not okay. That's not okay. You need to have, it's costing you money not to have access to email. There are too many people that don't have an email anymore, Chris. Come on, Chris, turn on that camera. There, there's people. So when we're talking about leaving money on the table and things that are costing us, a lack of automation is costing our community. A second point I want to make is that too many people don't understand how much debt they're in. They don't understand their debt. They might not even know that Biden, today extended that period where you don't have to pay back your school loans. It was supposed to start back at the end of January. Well, I think it was extended to May. And I think that just came out today, so you can check on that. But so here you are, where people don't even know that they can still make their payments if they want to. They think just because the government, said you don't have to make the payment, that they stop making their payment. But how do you just stop? How you doing, Miss Hawkins? How do you
Hello.
stop making a payment just because someone tells you you don't have to make the payment, even though you still have the same money, you still are making the same income? So not being in tune with your debt is costing you money. You're leaving money on the table. You're paying too much for things. This is a great opportunity if you still have the same job, same income that you had before the pandemic started. Why would you stop making your school loan payment when they're not charging you interest? This is a great opportunity to get ahead. You want to take advantage of it. Now, this is it. I don't say, "Oh yeah, I'm so glad he's not doing that because I got that new car and I don't have to." Come on, come on. A third point of how we're leaving money on the table, big money stuff, money mistakes that we're making, is not understanding taxes and not doing any tax planning at all.
Mm.
So what's happening is that we're paying way too much money to the IRS because of lack of understanding of the impact of not knowing. Like I was saying about the required minimum distribution has to be done before the end of this year. You receive like a 50% tax penalty if you don't do that. Ms. Hawkins will tell you about the penalty if you don't understand about making sure that you get into Medicare when you're supposed to. So you sit there and you wait. They're like, at 65, we want to know why you're not in Medicare. She does a lot of Medicare. She is our resident Medicare specialist. Exactly. That's right. And it costs you to not know. It costs you to not understand. It costs you, you know what I mean? But so basically, not getting into Medicare. I mean, I went off to another thing, but just looking at her made me think about that too. That's a way that we leave money on the table. Like Miss Hawkins has talked to me about that. That even though like there's so many things covered by Medicare that people don't know about, money we're leaving on the table. Correct? Money we're leaving on the table. You're in it, but you don't know what it is. You don't know what you're in. You don't know what you bought. It's it's kind of like a lot of things, like a car warranty that you bought. That could be on this list too. Like how many things have you actually purchased and you don't even know about what you purchased? Sometimes I feel so busy that I feel like the important stuff I'm not focusing on. You can be so busy with the things that don't save you money that you don't focus on the things that are there to serve you. So you're spending the money, like I called this law firm that I spend a lot of money with every month for compliance issues, and they're so accustomed to me not getting my money's worth out of them that when I called and I said, "Hey, I need to set up some meetings because I want to talk to you about, my plans for 2020." They were like, "What? Huh? You actually woke up? You actually want me to do something for you?" They were stunned, stuttering, "Oh, I'll tell so and so. Oh, I'll ask so and so." But think about how many things that we have like that we're paying for, and we're leaving money on the table, and we're not getting the full benefit of it. It's like being it's so, I mean, I don't know. Y'all can just think about, like, just say you have a membership to the gym, and your gym has classes, and you never go to any of the classes. And like, you know what I'm like, I always say that. Like I always go, I'm gonna go to a yoga class. I'm gonna go to a yoga class. I'm going to a yoga class. I'm gonna pick a regular one and I'm just gonna do it. I'm more of a lifter and a cardio person and stuff like that. But I really want to do more yoga. Can you feel me on that, Miss Hawkins? You look like you do yoga.
I do not, but I do exercise.
You're gonna do yoga too. We're gonna all do yoga. Look, Juan is about to say he does yoga. You do not. Do you do yoga, Juan?
No, I
Oh, good.
meditate for yoga.
Okay.
I do
How
go.
What do you, exactly. I know. No joke. You be like the first, exactly, gun specialist that also does yoga. See, that would be quite a niche for you. You can teach gun training, and then you go, and now we'll do yoga.
Zen.
Namaste. Exactly. Get centered. Get centered. It probably would help me, especially on the range. But what are we not? Or like just to say you do sign up for the training with Mr. Johnson, and he tells you you need to come back and do another training, and it's half off or free or whatever, and you never do it. We're leaving money on the table. I mean, how many times are we doing this? Over and over.
Every year.
Every year, right? You go, I tell them you can come back. And it's like we don't, but this little to no tax planning is really costing us a lot. And we have to pay attention to our taxes, not just in April. But if you notice that in Afro economics, we talk about taxes throughout the year.
Right.
And there's so many things that come up about tax issues. When you're selling a stock, when you might be selling even, there's people who are doing very risky investments. Just say that they're into cryptocurrency or something, and they don't understand the taxation on it at all. You need to speak with an investment advisor and talk with me about what is my tax consequences on these transactions that I'm doing. If I sell this, what will happen? If I buy this, what will happen? And things like that. Sometimes I was reading an article and it was bragging about how much money someone was making in doing this new risky investment. And you could tell it was an advertisement, but it was put into a business page. And then, so it said that they made this amount of money, but they put it into dollars. And then they said, but they actually were paid in this amount of this cryptocurrency. So, I mean, you need to think about what are the conversion consequences? What are the fees involved in these things? All of those things could be taxes mixed in there, and it also could be costing you. So,
Mhm.
our fourth point is that your investments, your investments, you need to have an understanding of what fees are involved, what sales charges are involved, what internal expenses does it have, what surrender charges might it have. Our community is taking a lot of risk in unregulated products, but they don't understand the products at all. This is something that we have to make sure that we're not hurting your financial future by not understanding what you're putting your money in. There's a whole bunch of new names out there, but we're not thinking about what is the worst case scenario? What are the sales charges involved? How much does it cost me to get into this? How much does it cost me to get out of it? When can I get out of it? I've met people come to me with their investments to show me. I'm going through their portfolio and they have things in there they don't know what it is, like partnerships and things like that. And then they find out they can't get out of it but once a year and things like that. We have to know we're losing. You'll lose if you don't ask the hard questions at the beginning. Prepare to win by investigating where every dime of your money is going to. And then my fifth point is spending too much on a house. Now, that's a hard one to say. That's a hard one to say because we've always been programmed to think, right, Chris? Because Chris is in real estate. See, if you had your face up, Chris, you could be doing a commercial right now.
JB, I'm working on something while I'm listening to this. I'm
So,
sorry.
you working on a real estate deal.
I'm trying to get something in this new command system. I transferred over to Keller Williams last spring, and
Uh-oh.
they have the most
You
arduous.
can't be sending
Oh,
out commercials to nobody but
they,
yourself.
I know they have the most arduous system to try to get your listings and your property through. It's just been a nightmare. But anyway, that's what I'm trying to work on. Because you remember this little unit that I had, I finally rented it, so I'm trying to get a
Nice.
little bit of payment for it. It's not much, but it's a little bit.
Nice. But getting it, spending too much, and I'm sure Chris would agree that sometimes people buy more house than they actually can afford. And
That's
a lot,
true.
yeah, a lot of
Mhm,
times, people don't understand how much it costs to
mm,
maintain
mm,
a
mm,
large home.
mm, mm,
There's people with 6,000 square foot house and
mm,
one person in it.
mm.
You
That's
know,
my goddaughter. She has one of those maker houses like that,
yeah,
and a brand
yeah,
new
and
one. Yeah,
that
it's ridiculous. Yeah, but
that's
she
you
well,
know,
she was together with her husband, but they're divorced now, so
woo,
she's left with the house. So she's got a lot on
good
her plate.
example. Good
Yeah.
example.
Mhm.
Because we're buying things based on two incomes when what if one of the two doesn't want to work or doesn't want to stay or doesn't
Right.
want to be in on that anymore? Like, I believe that you should purchase the home, especially if you're married, based on one income. So
Mm.
you already know your worst case scenario. So you're not pressured that, oh, both of us gotta, put in money for that because things change unexpectedly.
Yeah.
So, buy what you need, but buying too much house can cost you over your rest of your life. It can cost you because of residential, unless you're about to rent out all the rooms up in that house, so they can come right up in there with you, then you're not making any money off of it. So be careful. Spending too much on your house can devastate your financial future over the long term. Mm. And then what about an extra point is when people leave jobs, talking about leaving money on the table. They need to leave money on the table because people leave jobs and they take all their money out. Instead, they should call me, hopefully, and call your investment advisor and open up an IRA. On average, people change jobs now about 7 times. Those of y'all who had jobs 20 plus years, like Mr. Johnson and Miss Williams and Miss Hawkins and Jenny, that's not, this doesn't happen as much now. It doesn't happen as much now. So they need to make sure that they have a place to move their money so their money can keep growing. So if you're changing jobs 7 times through your career, you're starting over, that could be costly, right? Because it can stop you. You can stop every time you take it out, you do something with it. I need it for this. I love my job. So and next thing you know, you're trying to retire and you've spent your money every time you switch the job. Don't do it.
Yeah.
What about buying a new car as one of the bad things that you can do with your money? Buying a new car. Millions of new cars are, sold every year. But just because you can afford a car payment doesn't mean you can afford the car, right? What if you had to actually just buy the car outright? Like it was required that, you actually have the car, that you have the money to buy the car. Would you have a different car? And that would be an interesting way to decide should you buy that car. Like if you had to buy it straight out, could you come up with all the money? Do you have enough to pay for it? Then that would be great, right? That would be great. But and then also like not just the new car, but a new car is expensive in that it's new. If you're open to the option of a used car, you could save a lot of money right there as well, correct? But some people have to have the new car. But remember, that just because you can make the payment does not mean that the car is affordable for you. And the seventh point is that where we're leaving money on the table and wasting money is that using your own home equity to buy stuff and to buy vacations, because people don't think that their home equity is actually you're giving up ownership to your house. I don't think they really think that through. They just think, oh, this is a loan, it's a home equity loan. But no, but that is actually a second mortgage on your house. Like, I think that they call it home equity loan or HELOC to avoid using second mortgage. Some people have third, second, and third. If you can get a lender to do it, you could get a fourth. But people are using them for personal items, and you have to be very, very careful with that. If you're like using it because you are able to pay off some high interest rates with a lower interest rate, the higher interest debts with a lower interest rate because it's your home equity. Just understand that you're giving up the ownership of your home to pay off credit card balances.
Right.
I don't think people really get it. They don't really look at it that way. Yeah, but that's what you're doing. Like, you're taking something that has no collateral and you're basically collateralizing it. That's why the interest rate is so low on the home equity, because they'll come and take your house if you don't pay it. The credit card interest rate is higher because they're not going to come and take those shoes.
They don't want
It-
them.
you're right. It's considered unsecured,
They don't want your shoes.
right? It's unsecured. So then, I mean, let's look at
Yeah.
another one. Paying off your debt with your savings. So you have a debt that might be costing you 19%, and then you want to take your retirement account, your retirement savings, to pay off that debt. And people do it, especially in that job change situation, you know? And they need to be careful with that, because it's very hard. One thing that I've seen is that it is very hard to actually. I'm surprised. I'm sorry, y'all. I know you're making comments, but I can't see it. I'll try to pull it up on my other computer. But it is very hard you know to actually to pull up to create a lump sum again. So if you take
Yes.
that lump sum from that retirement, right? And you
Yes.
swap it because you want to pay off that debt. And then plus you got to pay taxes and sometimes penalties on that move. Come on, y'all. That's something we really need to um be careful when you're swapping out this debt with using retirement money. And I was talking to a client about that. How you doing, Snoopy D? As you can see, it won't show it up on the computer. How are you doing, Mr. Jenkins? How are you, Miss Campbell? Miss White, I got to get on your calendar. Star, there's Star. How are you doing? Hey, Crystal, thank you so much. Oh, I'm so glad you've been there, Star. Star knows she's supposed to be in the studio. What's going on? Snoopy D is out there too. They doing it. Y'all better get in the studio next year. Next Wednesday night, next Wednesday we're gonna have all these businesses in there. So we can talk about cooperative economics. So hopefully, Mr. Johnson, Miss Hawkins, you all will come back. Maybe even Miss Williams if she turns on her camera. But the definite and another point I want to say is about living off credit cards. Big mistake. And they say that there's an increasing number of workers who are willing to pay that interest rate to buy their gas, to get their groceries, because they don't have a choice. So they're actually using credit. They're using the credit card is allowing them to spend more than they're actually making at their job. We have to be careful. We got to be careful, right? The credit cards for a lip. I mean, I don't know. I hope that nobody's out there doing using credit cards for their, for their gift giving now. Do you think they are, Miss Hawkins? Oh wow.
Yes, yes.
How would they ever pay that back?
It's Christmas. They use that
Oh,
analogy. It's Christmas.
oh, right. But I feel that we have to be very careful, and I think that we should avoid debt right now more than any time,
Mhm.
just like every time, but now
Right.
more than any time in history. I really don't think we should be in debt. We definitely
Amen.
shouldn't be accumulating any new
Amen.
debt.
That's right.
Don't you think so? I mean, I feel
Amen.
like I just we don't know. So if we don't know, and we don't know, we never know. But right now we know what we don't know. We know we don't know where this level for the virus is going, or if we're
Right.
going to have to do a shutdown. There are actually countries that have shut down again.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, JB, my heart goes out to people that are still out there trying to shop. I just don't understand it. If you're gonna go, maybe go at 6 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock when they first open. But my heart goes out to people that feel as though they need to be out there buying a gift for somebody. That is not a necessity. Your
It's so
health
true.
should be paramount, not a
That's a good
daggone
point.
Yes.
Christmas
That's a good
gift.
point.
Yes.
Because the crowds probably are not. It is amazing how they're like not limiting how many people go into the store, but because that's not a good idea, with that many
Yeah.
people. That's a very good point, from a health perspective, but also as from a financial perspective. We cannot afford to live off credit cards, and mostly because we are not certain about how we will be able to pay it off.
Right.
We don't know if they shut it down. Like some people, you know what I mean, might lose their jobs. Some
Mhm.
people have not got their job back. Some people, their unemployment has ended and they don't have another job.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
stay healthy. And I believe that not having financial stress is a big part of protecting your immune system. You believe
Yes.
something
Yes.
like that? Yeah. Because there's just no worse feeling than stressing. And my prayers go out to the mothers who have small children who are losing their tax credit right now, as of right
Yes.
now. Like, I just wish that they didn't have to worry about it. And even if they do decide that they're going to keep it, I don't like that you put people through this much stress about it when we know that it's keeping young people out of poverty. So don't
Right.
waste any money. I don't even believe that if you're in a position to waste money, you should waste money. Just don't waste money just for the sake of those who cannot do it. And I'm just saying, like, because if you waste the money and then you see a person, a family that actually needs your help, you'll have it to help them.
Right.
But if you waste the money, you won't have it to help them. You'll say, "Oh, gosh, I wish I had." You know, don't waste it. Trust me on this one. Don't waste it. And then, leaving money on the table, which really what made me think about this was that 17.5 million people leave their company match money on the table every year. 17% of workers who have access to job sponsored plans don't currently put any money in it. And 12% of those who do Don't take advantage of the company match completely. Mm, mm, mm. No, so not fully participating in the work retirement plan is one of the key ways of just leaving money behind. Just letting it, because that's really part of your pay. That so you put in 8%, we'll put in 8%. That's part of your total compensation. But if you say, well, I can't afford it to do 8%, I'm only going to do five. Well, you're getting 5%, but you're leaving some of your own compensation on the table. So that match is part of what they expected you to go and get. Like with Social Security, you put 7.5, the employer puts 7.5.
Right. Right.
I think that in many situations, like we're not taking advantage of opportunities that are out there for us. Remember, like, my first point was that not being automated enough. Take advantage of every form of automation that's out there for you. Get the apps for everywhere that you bank. Learn how to log in to check all of your accounts. Not keeping up with these things can cost you so much. You just don't see it. And a lot of our biggest cost is the fact that we don't see how much not knowing is costing us. Like the word says, our people shall perish due to lack of knowledge. When
Right.
it's referring about our knowledge of God, but I believe that parallels and well, that goes into so many other things.
Right.
Lack of knowledge of our finances, lack of knowledge of our investments, lack of knowledge of a budget, lack of knowledge of financial planning, lack of knowledge of what to do when you switch from job to job. Job to job is not the problem. What you do with your money between jobs, that's the problem. The problem is not selling things. The problem is not understanding the taxes associated with selling those things. So tax planning, if you don't plan your taxes properly, you're leaving money on the table. You got your own business. You don't even know what's deductible. So you're going in there giving information to a tax preparer when maybe you need to be in the Afroeconomics Business Network and learn how to do your own taxes because they'll ask you more questions in the software and things that I'll teach you to use than you will when you just hand over something. Empowerment is in the doing. Empowerment is in the
Yes. Yeah.
understanding, right? And then you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Empowerment, like love, is a verb. you know, Sometimes we think just because somebody gives us something that they did us a favor. That is not doing you a favor. A girdle does not give you a small waist. Mm. Ah. He's like, what does that got to do with anything? It has to do with a lot.
Oh
So much
God.
of our world is so fake. Everything is about what it looks like instead of we got to get down to the ugly truth about our finances and stop leaving money on the table and stop paying so much for stuff. So if you're putting your purchases on a credit card that you cannot pay off, then that purchase is costing you way more than the ticket price. Way more. You could be buying these shoes that you have to have because they're on sale and you don't pay them off until the end of the year. You could have left them there because now you paid full price and some. That's money.
Yeah.
That's your money. You're going house shopping and you're letting a loan officer tell you how much house you can afford. They don't tell you how much house you're going to afford. You say how much house you can afford. You say, because what? You should be talking to your financial advisor before you get into that situation. Because it's only a financial calculation away on where you should be. We should not be going into those situations with loan officers and things like that without you talking with me first. What type you should be saying during our meeting, JB, what type of payment should we be considering or
Right.
I should be considering by myself? What type of interest rate should I be looking for? How would this be costing? How is this going to cost me? Right? So get a clear understanding of all of your debts, everything, your student loans, your credit cards, your any type of debt that you have, get an understanding of it. Mm. Know your investments. Look at your statements. We're getting to the year end. In January, all of us need to be doing our, quarterly review. You'll be getting the fourth quarter statements. You want to just go, or we should just go over that fourth quarter. Has it performed well? Are you overperforming? Are you underperforming? No such thing as overperforming.
Mm-mm.
You know, the but we need to think on these things, and there's nothing that is not important where you should think, well, I could talk to JB about my house, but I shouldn't really talk to her about this car because it's really not that big a deal. That's not true. Everything you spend your money on, make it a big deal. Make it important. Make it important to you. Make it matter. It matters to me. And just because you can afford the payment doesn't mean that you can afford that car. And remember that. And also realize, I mean, when I look at the numbers on how many millions of dollars could have been made with the money that you spend on car payments, it will make you jump. You're like,
Right.
whoa. I mean, if we think about, if you spending $600 a month. You know what I'm saying? And then you think about $600 a month, 10 years invested versus $600 a month, and it's on a car payment. It make you want to
Woo-hoo.
ride the bus when you see how much money you could have had. It'd be like Uber's not that bad. And then we haven't even started talking about the insurance, the tires, the maintenance. Woo! And if you put
Yes.
all of that into an investment, mm, and then don't be, so easy. Don't be so easy. I believe that our community is seen as an easy sell. Like we're always approached with something that's get rich quick, you know? And when it is generally where you should be, it's something that will take time to
Right.
build.
Right.
So every day, as a registered licensed financial advisor who is regulated by the government, every day I compete with fraudulent, misleading, unlicensed, selfish, robbing people. That's what you're up against. But the only thing that can save you is you. And that's the truth of it. Like, I can't save you. Only person that can save you is your own commitment to your financial success over the long term. Like, why would we take our life savings and put it into something that gives you no historical performance? None. They can't tell you over the last 10 years this has done this. They can't tell you who has researched it. Has it been clear? Do they turn in any audited information? Is this Securities Exchange Commission approved? Is this traded on the exchanges so that I can get in and out of it? You know what I mean? There's nothing like we are costing ourselves so much because we're approaching investments like it's a gambling decision, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, I mean, we really think, like, when they tell you, see, nobody else knows. Like, one lady was telling me, yesterday she called me, she was telling me about someone that has a radio show, and they were telling her about a product. See, they got to be careful with this stuff. And so on the radio show, they're sending them to this website to get involved with this product and this company that may soon go public, but they're trying to get them to invest in it before it goes public. And then I Googled the person, and they already have fraud charges on them. Just a
Mm.
Google away. They already had a record. Already had a record. We
Wow.
don't have to look that far for the proof. For the proof. I don't care whose airwaves they're on. Vet that person. Vet that investment. Check it out. It's costing us. It's costing us. So we can get back all the money that we have wasted, you know what I'm saying? And then actually put it in investments with legitimate long term track record history. Mm, mm, mm.
Wow.
You can have something.
Yeah.
And when you're going and you're doing stuff, and then they sue. Like I met this couple one time, and they met these people at a church at this workshop, and they didn't have no license or nothing. And they told them, "Do this money, give us the money," and so they all put their money. And this particular couple, they put 400,000 in a piece. They took their whole retirement from work, their 401ks when they retired, and they put it into it. So they came to see me, and I was like, "Oh my, I don't know what this is." She said, "Well, we already told this. We told the state, and the state is investigating it and everything." And then so I called the person, and the guy was like, "I don't know what they want me to do. I don't know what they want me to do. We're trying to figure it out, and this and that, and click, they lost $800,000.
Oh my God.
Those guys went to jail for a few years, but that couple lost 800,000.
Oh my God.
And I remember those guys coming to my office telling me how much money I could make and what this idea was that they had and this and that, and they were connected to this big church and everything. And by the grace of God, I said no. I think
Wow.
God said, "No, I don't deal with things that aren't regulated. I don't do those things." But
No.
thank God, the
Wow.
people that were hurt by that.
Wow.
But I really feel that the church should have been, the minister and the head of the church should have been put in jail too. Because these people would not have known you if you had not brought them into this church. Whoever brought them in should be held responsible because you have this center of influence, you know what I mean, who
Yes.
these
Yes.
people trusted because of you. We have a responsibility.
Wow. Wow.
We should feel that way. But most of all, we have a responsibility to ourselves to be able to smell when you're being robbed. We need to stop, you know what I'm saying, and wake up. Think you know when you're being robbed. Mm. And it's amazing to me, like this lady who's on trial now for shooting that guy, you know, they'll probably just have a hung jury, and she'll go home for some more months, and it'll never happen. She'll never. But when people do us wrong, it's like the punishment for it is so minimal. Like that couple who lost basically $1 million. I think they got like 7 years in jail, and it was millions of dollars. You know that
Wow.
she might get like parole for killing somebody. So
Mm.
interesting. So, don't leave your life on the table. Don't leave your money on the table. Don't leave responsibility of your financial future in anybody else's hands. And I get it because I know of being in so much financial stress that it makes you not want to look at it. And I hope that you all never know or can't relate to that at all. But I know as being, you know, an entrepreneur and going through all of these different economic things that I knew about probably 15 years ago or so now, that I said that I cannot allow myself to live under that type of stress. So no matter how hard it feels, no matter how overwhelmed you are, you have to face it. So basically, I think the bottom line of this thesis is that you have to face your taxes. You have to, and
Yeah.
I think that if Afroeconomics wasn't about making you face what the challenge is, then I would have like at least 100 times the membership if it was just a social club or social group or something like that. But
Yeah.
actually, what we do is empowerment because we actually do the tax return.
Yeah.
We actually do the tax planning. I don't do your return. I help people do their own return. All I do is make you feel better about doing it. Then you're like one lady in a meeting last week. She was like, "Oh my goodness, I was so afraid." She waited a whole year for somebody to turn in her return. It took all that torture before she finally. I said, "Look, I told her we could do it, but they tortured her so bad that she said, "Okay, JB, okay, JB, show me how I can do it." And it is not, but we have to make the decision to get control over our finances. And even as a financial advisor, I had to do that on your debt, on your income, on your goals, on how you spend, on all of that. That's why I wanted you to have that app. That's why technology has to be very important. So definitely, tonight was just about that. As we close out 2021, these are the things we don't want to do again. In the top knot says, "Love is an action." That's right. Yes, indeed. Yes. Miss Beecham said, "That's funny," but I don't know what it was that I said, right? Thank you, Miss Beecham. Wow. Yes, indeed. Oh, that's so good. And somebody said, "Wow, so strong." Thank you also so much. Any comments you can share, Miss Hawkins, before we run out of here?
I just want to share something funny and make it light. But
Please.
um, uh, with the leaving things on the table, so had a kitchen faucet. It's been
Mm,
leaking for a few months, actually.
mm,
So the plumber suggested that I call the company and see if they could give me a replacement part months ago. Today,
mm.
I took the time. I said, okay, I'll call the company. I called the company, wanted a picture of the faucet. Mind you, now it's at the other house. So I'm on the phone with the rep, driving to the other house. It was just too funny.
Trying to get it. Trying to not look. Trying
It
to
was
make
too
sure you
funny.
took care of everything.
So I'm saving
Mm.
money, right? Didn't realize I was saving money, but okay, if you want this, let's go get it. I get
Amen.
there. I take the picture. She sends me the text. I send her the picture. Oh, you have this model, da 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 da.
You know that's
I will
right.
send you the cartridge. Oh,
Ooh,
really? And I will send you also, oh, by the way, you can go to YouTube and put this model number in. It'll show you how to replace it. You don't need to call a plumber. Oh, really?
wow.
This is me. Oh,
Wow.
really?
Saving money, $500.
The part, when I got the invoice from them on email, the part was $54.
Mm,
So there's no cost to me. She says, this is covered.
I love it.
Oh,
On
really?
a faucet.
On the
That
faucet.
I'm
Now
telling
I've got
you,
to put it in, but I can manage that, right? I hope.
that's inspiring.
Yes.
That's inspiring because I certainly would have like definitely given up, called the phone number for a plumber. Well, now my husband, like he is really Michael, he's come through. I don't know. He did
Well,
YouTube though. He did YouTube, fix the shower and everything. So
exactly. So when the
look,
part
that
comes,
wouldn't
I'll
have
be
helped me,
YouTubing.
but I know it will help you and him.
When the part comes, I'll be YouTubing, okay?
Yes, indeed. I mean, he went right in there and did it. I was like,
But
wow.
the easy fix would have been call the plumber. Well, the plumber said what I should do, right? But I didn't follow him immediately. So the
Mm,
easy fix would have been call the plumber, get a new faucet, put it in, pay
yes,
for the faucet part,
yes,
and also pay for the labor to put it in, install it.
yes.
That would have been
God,
the easy fix. So
yes,
God showed me
indeed.
what I and face that fear and go ahead and do it myself.
God gives us what we need.
Yes.
That's so
Yes.
good.
So
What
that
a
was just
beautiful
I
story.
had
That
to share that. It
positive
just
story.
happened today.
What a positive story.
Oh,
And
really?
look, and it's glad to have your properties close to each other.
Right, right, right.
Two morals to the story, right? Exactly.
Right.
Keep them close, Chris. Keep them close. How you doing, Mr. Johnson? Thank you so much for sharing tonight. You got anything you left on the table?
Well, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. I would say this that we just got to stop being indifferent to the money.
Mm,
We leave money
mm,
on the table because we're indifferent to it.
mm,
We don't put value on the money. We like the money, but we don't
mm,
put the value on the money.
mm.
We got to count for every penny. One of my
Yep.
closest friends, he is not indifferent on the money. He
Mm.
accounts for every penny.
So good.
Do you hear me?
That's
And
so
so
good.
again, what you're doing is so valuable because we ain't been getting this.
Amen. Amen. And then I feel like also like that people are comfortable being broke. Like they can get like a way out. Like I was telling you about like how I've told people I will double your income in a year. If you want to do this, we can do this. And then they'll just give up. They don't even
Watch
want to do it. They
watch
just
this.
are comfortable with it.
I think having money makes you responsible.
Uh
And a lot of folks don't want to be responsible.
mm,
I mean, we've got comfortable being it's like a slave mentality.
amen.
We don't mind being the workers, being the hand. We let everybody else do the work, but not
Mm,
us. That's
mm.
that's I call that's like a reproach from slavery.
Yep, yep. And it's like not fashionable. Like it's not cool to work. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
There's so many like people younger than me who are like talking about retirement, you know, getting out of your workplace is so good to see, you know, Wanda and Chris still working, still got their own businesses and everything like that's so but they want to be wealthy. They want to
Yes.
continue and protect their wealth. They're already wealthy. They don't have to keep working. And that's
They've been
what we
see,
have. Yeah.
they've they have seen the mistakes of their parents.
Mm.
And I really believe instinctively they don't want to make the same mistake.
Amen.
Hello.
Am I say hello? Is that a hello in the
Amen.
house?
Amen. Amen.
Because there's nowhere in the world. Again, I want those type of people who like to look at things and then after you brainstorm, you execute, you come back to the table, and then we say what did we did right, what we did wrong,
There you
so we don't
go.
repeat those same wrong
Right.
mistakes. And as a collective, we need to just have a challenge and come to the table and say
Mm.
we can't do this no more. It
That's
ain't
right.
working.
That's right.
So what you're doing with JB
Mm.
Bryant, these Wednesdays and Fridays and Sundays, is what I say revolutionary.
I pray so. I
It
pray so.
is. It is.
I
And
pray so.
and we may not be around to see it in its
Amen.
fulfillment because you're leaving a lot of stuff for posterity.
That's right.
Posterity.
That's right. That's
But it's
all we're
good.
doing.
But you
That's
start
right.
somewhere. Yeah.
That's all we're doing. You
Yeah.
know, like yeah, sometimes who's you're hearing it now won't benefit as much as the next person.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who gets to hear it and they're just like, "Whoa, I didn't know." Oh, I'm so glad you know, I mean, oh, that really helped. I'm so glad. Oh, wow. You know, Miss Hawkins, really, I thank you. Oh, Mr. Johnson, he is so right. That's on. Like, and just having voices to echo me or you know or to allow it to spread because someone needs to hear it from you some you know both of you are just god sent you know just gifts thank you you too Chris I don't know if you're still there but thank you she's working on her project But everyone, please subscribe. We will be back here on Wednesday. I hope that both of you will consider joining us next Wednesday for our business, the cooperative acronym.
Is that the
You,
29th?
you,
That's my birthday
yeah,
next Wednesday.
Ujama, a real.
Oh, wow.
Yes, the
Oh
29th.
wow! Happy birthday! It sure is the 29th.
Yes, it is.
Yes, indeed.
You
You
may
should
not
spend a
see me on my
little bit
birthday.
of time with us so we can say happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie Wonder style. Happy birthday to ya. That's right. That's right. First came Jesus, then came you.
All right.
Oh,
Now you're speaking in tongues now. Now you're speaking my
that's right.
language.
That's right. That's right. How you doing, Reverend Brown? I see you in the studio. Yes, indeed. It's all good. Well, thank you. Did I
Doing
tell you?
good.
You hear my music? How you doing, Reverend Brown? Thank you. I don't.
I'm good.
I'm glad we got Florida logging in tonight.
I will be in Florida this next week.
Good
I'm
deal.
Wow,
going there to spend my birthday. I'll be in Tampa and I'll be in Orlando.
that's
Oh,
All
so
that's
right.
my back
cool.
door.
Uh-oh.
I'm knocking on your door.
Uh-oh.
Let
So
me in.
good. That's so good. We got to get y'all connected. That's so good. Wow. Small world.
Yes,
See, we never know who we know. We're going to have a
that's true.
meeting down there. We're going to have a meeting in Orlando. Which one you like? Are you closest to, Tampa or Orlando? Just talking.
I'm closest to Tampa.
I'll be
We're
there.
going to have a meeting in Tampa.
Tampa.
I'm gonna charter me a little boat and just enjoy that good weather and oh
Woo!
yeah,
That's so good.
it's gonna be great.
I love it. Well, I love you all. Have a great night. May the positive
All right.
energy continue to resonate with us.
Thank you,
Take care.
thank you.
Right.
Take care
Good
now.
night.
You
Good night.
take care. Thank you so much. Good night.